everyone. Good afternoon. How we all doing? Yes, I can see we're all here and all excited. Right, we'll be heading straight into today's event. So, good afternoon, everyone. We're sorry we kept you waiting. Well, we're heading right into the program right now. If this is your first time joining us live on YouTube, my name is DTM Tawo, and I will be the moderator of today's event. Please, can I just see some excitement? If you're joining us on YouTube, just say hi. You can say where you're joining from. You can say "Go Cyber Girls." All right, let me see some of that excitement in the chat section. All right, this is the CyberGirls 3.0 applications information session, and I won't be taking today's session alone. So if you say some exciting things in the comments, I might just bring up the people who will be joining me for today's session. But I need to see that excitement. Yes, say hi. Thank you, Miss Ma. All right, She Flows Africa, Kainde, Belinda. Shikomi. Hi, Dolapo. All right, it's so nice to see you all. Okay, go Cyber Girls. We're getting started now. For today's information session, I'll be joined by my colleagues Divine and Selassie, and we will be telling you all you need to know about the Cyber Girls 3.0 application process. I'm really excited to be having this session with you because Cyber Girls 1.0 was a hit, acknowledged. 2.0, a bigger hit. We went to 7 countries and helped 300 ladies get started and get the foot on the ground. So now for 3.0, we'll be opening our doors to even more people. But there are more and more secrets to find out in today's session. So if you have someone who is looking to apply to the fellowship and isn't here yet, this is the time to buzz them to come in. All right. Hi, Selassie. Hi, Divine. How you're doing?
Hi, DTM. Good morning, my time.
Good morning.
Hi, DTM.
Hi, Selassie. All right. So for today's session, Divine, CyberGirls Africa program manager, will be kickstarting the process. All right. All right, Divine, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Divine Omozokwe. I'm the programs lead for CyberGirls Africa. So I'll be running through the program flow. So we'll start with about CyberGirls Fellowship. I'm sure a lot of you have questions about the program. And then my colleague Selassie will be taking the session, Why Cybersecurity, Why CyberGirls? And Selassie would also be taking the session of What Does It Take to be a cyber girl? And then we'll move on to the TM who will be taking the session, CyberGirls 3.0 application process. So I know you'd like to know what the application process is, what's expected of you while applying for this program. And then finally, we'll take the question and answer session together as a panel. So let's dive in. So basically, this is about CyberGirls Fellowship. It's more of like a sisterhood. Here's a quote by our founder about how this program, when you join this program, you're joining and you're not alone. You're going to be paired up with sisters. You're going to be a team and you're going to be treated as a family. So CyberGirls Fellowship is a 1-year free program that equips girls and women across Africa with cybersecurity skills. We do this by providing hands-on training. We provide mentorship, and then we get you certification ready. And then we also provide possible paid internship and job placements. So for the CyberGirls 3.0, we'll be having 1,000 fellows joining us from across various countries in Africa, aged between 18 to 28 years old. And that the program will last for 7 months, Monday to Friday, and you'll be able to commit at least 4 hours to the training each day. And then if you and anyone who is awaiting admission, an undergraduate or a graduate or even working class, you can apply for this program. So basically, for CyberGirls Fellowship, you'll be teamed up with 4 ladies across other African countries. So in a peer learning group, we call it peer learning group. In a peer learning group, it consists of 5 ladies, and then you have yourself and 4 other ladies across various countries in Africa. And then you'd also have an experienced female cybersecurity professional who will be assigned to your peer learning group and serve as mentor. So basically, she's going to provide guidance, she's going to motivate you, and she's going to walk through your cybersecurity journey with you. And we have other activities for the program. We have our open day, we have a Cyber Friday, we have a day in the life series, we have one cyber thing a day, and we have Linux party, amongst other programs that we're having. So here's the learning path. So I'll basically be talking about cybersecurity specialized career path. So we have the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So if you want to be an ethical hacker, this is the learning path for you. We have the threat intelligence, we have the governance, risks, and compliance. That's the GRC. We have the cloud security, and lastly, we have the incident analysis and response, which is the SOC analyst level 1 learning path. So now, Selassie, you have the floor.
Hi everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction, Divine. So why cybersecurity and why CyberGirls? Many of you have heard of the word cybersecurity a lot, but just have maybe a generalized idea. Cybersecurity is it's important because now we do a lot online. We share our data, we share our phone numbers and all those things. So those are identifiers. This we here as cybersecurity experts or as cybersecurity analysts or enthusiasts, whichever you fall in at this point in time, to secure all this information. So whatever you're doing online, you're leaving a bit and a piece of yourself. So as we're getting new technologies, we're getting our smartwatches, we are connected to Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all those things, we're leaving little bits and pieces of ourselves online. So cybersecurity is just the act of securing all this data, making sure the unauthorized person, making sure that an unauthorized person gets access to that. So you're making sure they don't get access to it. You're securing all this data. You're making sure your friends, your families, your colleagues are safe. All those things. You're not hacked into. You have your privacy when you're online. Like those little bits. That's the general idea of cybersecurity. Even though it's a bit broader, we're just going to leave out the general idea for now. So when you join the fellowship, we will introduce you to it, and then we'll tell you the different aspects, as Divine mentioned earlier about the career parts, the learning parts. Sorry, we have various aspects of cybersecurity. So when you join or when you start a cybersecurity journey, that's when you get introduced to the in-depth part of cybersecurity. But as you can see on the screen, this is just a basic idea or understanding of what the whole term cybersecurity is. Opportunities and then a gender gap. The reason why CyberSafe has started CyberGirls is to help young ladies across Africa get access to this training so they can better their lives. In cybersecurity right now, we have a gender gap. In the industry, there's lots of male compared to ladies. And then the job market has like a lot of opportunities. There's over 3.5 million job openings that are not filled up yet. So we need to introduce more ladies, empower more ladies, because I'm sure most of you have heard IT or cybersecurity is a bit difficult. Our goal here is to change that idea, make you understand that it's actually quite fun, and then there are various aspects of cybersecurity you could fill in. It doesn't necessarily have to be the hard coding type. We have the admin side of cybersecurity, the operation side of cybersecurity. There's so many other things in cybersecurity you could take on. So we're here to empower and encourage ladies that you can say, oh, I'm not too smart, I'm not too this, I'm not too that. No, that doesn't work. We're trying to fill out all those gender gaps. We're trying to empower the ladies. So those are the opportunities. We also have other opportunities like job opportunities and other perks of being cybersecurity. So right now we all know that the world is heading towards a technological age, but we're already in it, but there's going to be a bigger boom soon. So we're going to be working from home, which is already happening, but we'll have more of that soon. So with cybersecurity, many of our jobs, you're able to work remotely from anywhere. So from the comfort of your home, you can be on the road and work. You can do a lot from remote working. It's flexible because we have other aspects, as I mentioned earlier. We have the cloud and all those things. So whatever you like, you can do. It's not necessarily one size fits all. And yes, it's financially rewarding. That's the part that most people love to hear. The money is good. It's the work put in, but the money is really, really good. And you also get to help in boosting new innovations and creating ideas to help other people. So you now become so whatever you're doing now also helps somebody else. It could be your friend or family from preventing them from being bullied online, preventing them from getting their data leaked online just by securing maybe one or two things here and there. So that's the idea of cybersecurity, and those are the perks that comes with cybersecurity. So why CyberGirls? I Divine did mention a few minutes ago that we are here to help. So we've developed this 1 year program that takes you from zero to hero. So we've designed a program to take you from basically no knowledge in cybersecurity to like an expert in cybersecurity for you to be able to get a good basic entry level job. Our goal is to start with ladies that 18 to 28. We would also equip you with the skills. She's already mentioned the career path, so you're going to end up taking one of them and then mastering in that. We give you sorry. Yes, it's going to be basically that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you hands-on training, mentorship, community. We have a community though. Yes, I supposed to speak about the alumni. We have the alumni sessions. We have others. So ladies from CyberGirls 1.1, 1.0, and then 2.0 are going to be there to motivate you, encourage you. We also have the mentors. So that's ladies that in cybersecurity that are doing stuff on their own. They are in the industry. They are doing life-changing things. They're going to be there to hold your hand across. So it's not going to be as scary as maybe whatever you've seen online or heard online. It's going to be a very interesting journey. Yeah, so I'm going to hand over to the TM and she's going to take over about the application process. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Selassie. Thank you, Divine. A lot of things have been said so far, and I don't know about you, but I'm actually really excited to be a part of this fellowship, or rather, I want to be part of this fellowship if I were you. I think the thing that strikes me the most, that's the most interesting thing about the Cyber Girls Fellowship for me, is how it takes you from novice, JJC, there's a slang in Nigeria, yeah, JJC, Johnny Just Come. It takes you from that level, the person who just has basic computer knowledge, to a cybersecurity professional. So it just go from novice to professional, just like that. Don't worry, it's not magic. You will have to put in the work. There's the work to it, but thankfully you have community. Nothing does it better than community. If you doubt it, ask people in the previous cohort. They had a lot of support and love, and that actually propelled them to do the work. So right now I'll be talking to you about the CyberGirls Fellowship 3.0 application. I've gotten a lot of questions over time. Oh, how can I know I'm eligible or not? Can I apply from this country? Can I do this? Can I do this? And today I'll be going through that process. I'll be explaining, who qualifies for the program. I'd go through the entire application process with you, so you know what to expect, how to put yourself together, so you understand what you're getting yourself into, and to help you make an informed decision whether to be part of the CyberGirls 3.0. I know everyone is tense. We're waiting for the dates. Everyone has been waiting. We'll be asking on social media, when is registration starting? When's application starting? When's application starting? I'll be making that special announcement on this live session as well, or rather in this live session as well. So hang in there and stay with me throughout this process. All right. So who qualifies? Who is eligible to become a cyber girl in this cohort? You have to be aged 18 to 28. I think my colleagues have said that repeatedly. But the most important clause to it is, as at the date as of the date 24th March 2023, which is the date when the program fully kicks off, when the training starts, you must be 18 to 28. So if you're considering it, just check the calendar. How old would I be by that time? And then know whether to apply or not. You must be from and resident in Africa. I get that question quite a lot. A lot of people want to know, oh, I live in Africa. I'm from Africa, but I don't currently reside. Sorry, I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to sit this one out. There'll be other great and amazing opportunities that suits you. But we only open our doors to people who are from and resident in an African country. So Kenya, Rwanda, anywhere, Mozambique, wherever you are from, please apply, and we're opening our doors to you. All right, last cohort we had 7 countries, and now we're having 54 countries. We're also increasing the numbers from 300 to 1,000. So if I were you, I'll try to be one of the select few who get this opportunity, because the opportunity of a lifetime. Passion is very important. If you are not passionate, we don't want you here. I'm sorry, because passion is the driving force for anything in cybersecurity. It's a career path that requires a lot of resilience and enthusiasm to learn. So you must be passionate about it. How would you learn? How would you keep propelling yourself? So it's passion. Passion is a very important thing for us here in the fellowship. We want to know if you can withstand the pressures of an intensive hands-on technical training. Yes, the program is quite an intensive one. So if judging by schedule, you can't do intensive. You may need to restructure some things. The program may require that you structure some things in your personal life during it because it's very intensive. During this session, I'm going to be explaining what intensive looks like, so you also know what intensive is. But once you know if you can withstand the pressures, if you can, please welcome in. Do you have access to the internet? This training is purely virtual, so we do use a lot of internet services. Do you have access to internet? And are you willing to dedicate 7 months to the training? So it's a 1-year fellowship. Great, that's fine. But 7 months is dedicated from that 1 year is dedicated to intensively training you for the journey ahead. Giving you all the knowledge and hands-on experience to propel you to kickstart your career. So it's important that you'll be willing to dedicate 7 months to it, and most importantly, have access to internet, to internet rather. You must be proficient in English. Yes, it's important because our classes are taken in English. So from the beginning of the application, all the way to your graduation, you'll be communicated to in English. Your training will be in English. So it's important that you be proficient in English. It'd be sad if, a language barrier was, the reason why you don't bring on your best. So just be proficient in English. We'll be offering some sort of, you get to meet other people and, get to network with other people, and you could speak your language with them if they're from your country or they know your language. That's great. But for official purposes, everything will be in English. It's important to us that you have basic education. So this is only open to people who have completed secondary education. So if you are waiting to get into university and cybersecurity is the thing for you, great, come in. If you have finished university and you think it's going to be great for you and you're ready for it, please come in right in. If you're working and you want to switch careers or upskill, well, come on in. All right, so I just want to talk about what it takes to become a cyber girl. There's something we say in our community. It is not CyberGirls Fellowship is not just a fellowship. It's an identity. It is a tribe, a community of people dedicated to constant learning. And this is something you get to find out more about when you're in the fellowship. So what does it take? What is that thing that sets you out to be a cyber girl? First, you must be passionate. We are driven by passion. We're passion-driven people. So it's very important that you be passionate. The learner's mindset. We can't drum this enough. The learner's mindset is very important. And it's majorly important because you'll be having to unlearn some things, relearn some things. And, so for some people, this will be an entirely different path from them. Maybe you come from the sciences, and for the first time, you'll be having to deal with technical things like this. It is a hassle. So you need the learner's mindset, the mindset that keeps you constantly curious and open to learning. And, that's the only way you can really grow as a cyber girl. The next part is the time commitment. I can't drum this enough. To learn a skill, you must devote time. And for you to be successful in this program, you have to commit a minimum of 4 hours to learning every day. Yes, 4 hours. 4 hours is inclusive of your class time, your possible study time, and in an event when there are live sessions or hands-on training, that covers for it as well. So 4 hours to building yourself. So we would every activity will be conditioned to take place within those 4 hours. All right, the last point is resilience. Resilience is really important. You would have to fail a couple of times. You may fail a couple of things. In fact, I think for some people, the first class is overwhelming. It's like, oh my God, we try to build pace for you and start from introductory and build it. But for some people, that is still strange for them. For others, it isn't. And you may fail. When I say you may fail, you may read a book, it didn't make sense the first time. And then you may have that withdrawal and don't feel like you're failing. But the thing that makes you a cybersecurity professional, I say this with my full chest, the thing that sets you aside as a professional is that resilience. They don't take no. They fail, they pick themselves up and they do it again. And that there is the spirit of a cyber girl. The passionate person who has a learner's mindset, who is committed to training and improving themselves, and most importantly, resilient. So I'll be moving on to the next, which is the application timeline. All right. So I guess it's time for that big announcement after all. The CyberGirls 3.0 application will officially open on Monday, 14th November 2022. So in about 2 days, we'll be opening our doors and you can now apply for the fellowship from Monday. All right, I'm super excited. You can hear that, and I know you are too. So once applications open, rush in and get your applications through. Don't delay, We'll be expecting quite a number of applications, and it will be sad for you to lose out on this amazing opportunity because we reached our cap and you hadn't applied yet. So once it starts, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that it's time to apply. And if you have someone in your locality, some young person who is trying to get started and build their career, this is the program for them. Encourage them to join in and they can get started. So the registration date is 14th November, and applications will go on for 3 weeks and will be ending on the 4th of December 2022. So the rest of the dates I'll be talking about as we progress. But there are 4 stages of application. The first is that when you complete the application form. Afterwards, you'll be required to take a written test, and then we have the Cyber Essentials course and the interviews, and just before you come right into our doors. So let's start with the first stage of application, completing the application form. So for the very first stage of the application, you'd be required to create an account. You'd be required to create an account on the CyberGirls profile. And after you've created that account, you would, I can't give you the URL. All of those details will be on the event flyer. So when the applications are open, we'll make known the URL and you sign right in. Once you open the URL and you go there, you would find the login button and sign up button to your extreme right of the site. So you sign up, basically. You'll be asked to provide a few details, your name, your email address, and afterwards you create an online account on the CyberGirls application portal. So after that has been done, you'll be required to fill out an application form. There are sections in this application form that require you to fill out information about yourself, your contact information, some things about your educational background, and the reference. And lastly, you have to submit the application. There's some things I would like to highlight while on this in this stage of the application. A lot of data collected from you will be used to making informed decisions about your place here, and also getting to know you and verify that identity you say. So if you say something, we want to verify that you're who you say you are. So ensure that you complete the application form with verifiable information and accurate information. Please note that even if you get into the fellowship under falsehood and you find out, you lose out on the opportunity whether you got through or not. So the application form is the very important form. Take your time in filling it. Ensure your email address is correct. If you do not sign up with the correct email address, you lose out on receiving information. We can't contact you, so we don't know who you are, and we can't progress with your application. You'll be asked to talk about your educational background, just a little to know about where you come from and how you got here. So that's something you need to look out for. And references, I'll be highlighting that separately, but you'll be asked for referring for contact information. Now, there's a question that particularly sticks out, or rather stands out in the application form, and it's the one that requests to know, why you should be picked to be a cyber girl. For us, that is the point where you have to pitch yourself. Think of it as an elevator pitch. What's so special about you? What makes you a cyber girl? What's that unique story to you? We don't want you taking that time. What drives you? What motivates you? We want to know all of those things. Please do not take out that time to start to tell us stories about stories that are not related to answering that question. Be very meticulous in this point because at that point, because it is a very important criteria for us. We want to know why pick you. So language proficiency. The form must be completed in English. Like I said, from applications all the way down to your graduation, you'll be communicated to in English, and we expect that you complete the form in English. Uh, okay, so essay and references. Like I said, you'll be asked to answer a particular question about yourself. Be concise, go straight to the point, and let us see your soul. Let me get to meet you. Let me read your words and feel like I know you. So for your references, we want to be able to reach out to this contacts and verify who you are, that you say you are. So you can include a family member, someone with work or academic experience. For the best purposes, we would require someone who you've either worked with in the past, so like your boss or something, or someone who has a profound knowledge of your educational background. So if you're still in university, yeah, it actually make more sense to have your referee be a lecturer, or someone who is aware of your background so far. So we will actually be reaching out to your references at the point in doing this application. So you must let them know, so they're not taken aback if we do contact them to verify the information you have provided. Health and disability. In CyberGirls, we are very open to embracing. We do not discriminate based on race or. Thankfully, we're all Africans, but we do not discriminate based on race, complexion, even disability, whatever health status you are, or if you are living with a disability, we still want you here. You deserve a chance to actually make that life changing move. However, we can only cater to very limited, health and health related challenges during the program. So, if you can meet up with the commitment of 4 hours and all of the other things that are required of you, and your health doesn't get in the way of being available and committing all of your time to it, then by all means necessary, please apply. But we'll be taking our discussion we'll be expecting that you declare this information for the purpose of us making informed decisions on giving you your place. So do not leave out mentioning a health condition because you think it would stand in your way. We are open to having conversations and welcoming you in if you believe you can actually fully operate during the program. Verifying your identity. We are interested in obviously verifying your identity. So we'll be requiring that you turn in a means of identification during this process. What counts as a valid means of identification? Your national ID, you could use your passport, you could use a driver's license, but something that verifies that you are who you say you are and you are from where you say you're from. All right, so those are two things you'll be attaching to the application process, the stage one of the application process. If you have any questions, I'll be taking questions at the end. So think about it, and please note there's an application guide that will be available on the on the application portal. So if there's something you missed, something you do not understand, the application guide encompasses most of the things we are discussing here, and you can always refer to it for guidance. So for the stage two of this application process, you'll be required to take a written test. What is this written test for? It's just, if you survive the scrutiny of the first stage, we know you're already, about to give it to us. You're one of the most amazing people to work there. But we want to actually still test if are if you can comprehend us, if you have comprehension issues, if you have basic digital literacy skills. We want to know how much you know. We want to test your personality and know if you are one who doesn't want to, work in a team, how you function. We want to basically be just an aptitude test to get to meet you and know more about your mental capacity as well as your personality. So it's just an aptitude test. It has a bit of comprehension. It has a bit of quantitative analysis, just a little thing to keep you going. And most importantly, there's a section dedicated to digital literacy. So in previous cohorts, we used to take a class for basic digital literacy, but that wouldn't be happening this cohort. In this cohort, we expect that you have basic computing knowledge. Can you use a computer? Do you know how to use the applications on it? Not just to start and play with games or watch a movie. Can you perform certain functions? Can you use the Microsoft Office packages? We want to really know. We want to know that you can functionally use the internet and safely do so. So the cutoff mark for this written test is 75%. So only the people who meet that cutoff mark will make it to the next stage. So if you want to make it to the next stage, Best of luck getting 75% on it. And don't let that scare you in any way. Trust me, it's something you can ace. Something you can ace very easily. Just be calm when taking the test. That's my basic advice. Just be calm in a quiet environment. And trust me, you'll find that it's stuff you already know. It's residual knowledge most of the time. Um, all right, for the stage 3, you'll be asked to take a part in a cyber essentials course. Now, the stage 3 is very important to us, because in stage 3, basically you'll be doing fastest fingers first. I like to call it fastest fingers first because you'll be enrolled alongside other people who have completed the second stage of the program to start the cybersecurity essentials course on the 19th of December. And we expect that between then and the next 4 weeks that you would have completed this program, the course, which is cybersecurity course, an introductory cybersecurity course, and then you'd have taken the quiz associated with that course and scored a minimum of 75%. Please note that this test can only be taken once, and you'll be in this process with several other thousands of people, but only 4,000 people will make it past this stage. So, like I said, it's fastest fingers first. If you can go through the learning material, finish all of it, and meet that grade, that 75% grade, then yes. This cybersecurity essentials course is very beginner friendly. It's basically just to equip you with all the tools you need to start your cybersecurity journey. How can I become a cybersecurity professional if I do not have basic cybersecurity awareness? Can't happen. So just giving you all the things you need to propel you to get started and just open your mind to the world of cybersecurity before you even get into the program. Please note, if you're not one of the 4,000 people who made the cut, please you know that you will still get the cybersecurity essentials course certificates from us. This is an in-house built course, and we can still certify that you have like cybersecurity awareness knowledge. Either ways, you still get a chance to pass this stage with something, but only the first 4,000 people who have completed a course, taken their test, and scored 75%. So if you like, be the first to finish the quiz, but get less than 75, I'm not going to answer. We're not going to welcome you. We're not going to open our doors to you. The clause is complete the course. So it's important that we see on the back end that you have completed the course. It's important that you take the quiz and you have 75%. We do not take cheating lightly, so you should actually be cautious not to engage in such activities. All right, so I'm going to be moving on to the next stage of the application, which is the interview stage. That's the fourth stage of this application process. The famous blind interviews. If you've been following the CyberGirls journey, I think it's one of the most talked about stages in our applications. The blind interviews. Basically, you will be allowed to pick out your interview time within a course of 6 weeks. And when you pick out the interview time, please note you can't miss your interview. You can't fail to attend. If not, that automatically disqualifies you. So you would get a chance to speak to someone in the applications committee, and it's going to be a blind interview, so you can't know their name, you can't see them, but they can't see you. And I think it's really interesting. It's like playing peekaboo. During the interviews, you are supposed to consider this your elevator pitch. Talk to them about yourself. Again, we are interested in knowing you. Nothing beats knowing you. So open up, answer the questions, let's talk. This goes on for 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes, make sure they know enough about you, to be able to make an informed decision on whether to give you a place among the 1,000 select few who will be starting the program with us. All right, after you're done with the interview process and you've aced it, which I know a lot of you will ace it, why not? You're super amazing people. And then you aced your interview, a committee will meet to decide. Please note that interview is graded on using a points-based system. So it is not someone, just emotionally making decisions. No. The person will be grading you based on certain points. We are going to set that we're going to be grading you based on your passion and other things that we're going to let you know. So if you get to this stage of the interview, the email you get will inform you of our expectations of you. But most importantly, my tip, Be your true, authentic self. I think it gets to wow people more when you can be yourself. Settle in, be comfortable in your skin, and speak about yourself with pride. When you finally go ace that stage, you can finally now claim a spot in the fellowship. You'll be given the chance to be 1,000 people to claim a spot. Please note there will be no waiting lists this cohort. So you're either in or you are out. Thankfully, we still have the Cyber Learners community. Shout out to the Cyber Learners community. And we will be having you, we will be giving you a place there in the Cyber Learners community. However, if your target is cyber girls, you have to ace the interview. All right. So after your interview, the committee will meet, and based on the results from that points-based system, they'll make informed decisions comparing, referring to the information you provided earlier in the applications form. We'll be doing a background check. So that is the point where your lie would catch up with you if you do lie. So like I said, be very honest, be sincere, and let us know everything from get-go. You stand a better chance, because if the background search comes out that, some of the things you said aren't true, you may just have lost a quality opportunity. So remember, accurate and verifiable information only for the application form. When the committee makes the decisions of the people who made the first 1,000 cut, well, those will be the people who will get started in the program. So remember, it's not a one-man decision. It's an open system. The open door policy, that's how we operate. So no one is handpicking anybody. It's a point-based system. Did you score up to 100? Did you score up to 80? Whatever it is, then we choose 1,000 people. If you have gotten to the final stage of the applications, to be honest, I'd like to see it as you are the best person in the room. So just help us see that as well. All right. So when you've done that, I'd like to also draw your attention that, a lot of communications will be happening via email, notifications on the web portal, and social media as well. So please, if you're not already following us on social media, now is a good time to do that. When applications open, social media, when we send messages out on your status, social media will carry it as well. But all of the things that will be said on social media or in your email would also be in a very solid place where your status is given. That's the application portal. So I'll be telling you tips for using the online application system. That's the CyberGirls application portal. Excuse me. When you're using the CyberGirls application portal, there's some things to note. It's more Google Chrome friendly. It's actually a lot more Google Chrome friendly. And for the best experience, I'll suggest that you complete your application on a laptop rather than a mobile device. This will allow you the time and space to view all of the fields correctly and fill out your application right. This is a special tip off the books. When you want to fill it, I think you should write out your statement of purpose, why we should pick you out, and you should write it on your notepad so you can copy and paste it. So that makes it easier and seamless. Please note that when completing, the application form, you should actually work with your full size window so it doesn't hide anything. It's easier to read that way, so you're not squinting to see a question or anything at all. Don't use the browser's forward and backward buttons. It's really important that we know this. So when you want to navigate the form, as opposed to, maybe you made a mistake in the last page and you want to go back and correct that mistake, as opposed to using the back button on your browser, there's a button provided on the form. If you use the back button on the browser, you're not going to go where you want to go. So please ensure to use the forward and backward buttons on the form to navigate the pages of the form. Now, another tip will be to enter information accurately. I think I've said this about 8 million times on this session. Accurate information, especially your contact details. Make sure your email address is correct, is valid, is the one you are using, not the one you used 3 years ago and you no longer use. But right now, that is what is in use. Ensure it is that particular email address. And during this process, please, your email should be your best friend, because we'll be talking to you. We'll be talking to you frequently. So just check your mail frequently for information, especially on dates when we say we are going to talk to you. So that's at the feedback date. Look out for your mail as well. So when you provide the accurate information, you can always be able to use it to access the portal. Please, while you are creating your account, this is an important thing to note. Please don't use a password that you forget. Right? Do not use a password that you forget. Create using your email, username, and a password that you will remember to log into, because you'll be logging it at several points, either to get linked to your next stage or to see your status. All of that will be happening on the online application system. So please do not forget your password. Also, we are cyber security people. Please don't use password 1234. It will reject it. Please make sure it meets all the criteria for a strong password. If you do not know what a strong password looks like, thankfully there's a prompt on the application form that will tell you what it looks like. So learn your very first cybersecurity lesson. Anyways, you'll be asked to provide an information, and for uploads generally, we're not accepting documents larger than 5 MB. So look out for that. And your document must be in JPEG, PNG, or PDF. When you're turning in your identification, your means of identification, ensure it's not above 5 MB and it's one of these file types. When you're filling out the application form, if you leave the portal idle for so long, it will log you out. Your application expires. But not to worry, that doesn't mean you've lost all your information. Just basically means you have to refresh and sign back in. You have to refresh and sign back in to continue completing that. So it's going to take you going to show how much you have completed the process up until that point. So don't fret if you try to fill out at a point and then you notice it's not working. Refresh, and you find out maybe you had left the page idle for too long, and that's why it logged you out. But aside that, that's basically it about using the online application system. Please note that the online application system will be giving you your status as per the time. So when you finish completing your application form, for example, which is the first stage of the application, it will notify you that, hi, yes, we received your application and your application is currently pending. And that, we will get back to you at a set date. Now, on the set date, you'll be able to see your status. Oh, did you pass the first stage? Has your application been approved? Can you move on to the next stage? Alternatively, when you rejected, it was application rejected rather, but you get to see that status on the online application system. Please note that for everyone who starts this process and doesn't get in or to the next stage or doesn't get into the fellowship eventually, you are not running at a total loss. We are out to, remember, equip you. We want to equip as many people as possible with cybersecurity skills. So you would still get an opportunity to be part of the Cybersecurity Essentials course. So if you drop out on the first stage, like you make the cut in the first stage, you can still take the Cyber Essentials course. You'll be given the opportunity. Just look out for that email and take the necessary steps. If you get out in the second stage that you didn't pass your test, you didn't meet the 75% cutoff point, you still get to take the Cyber Essentials course. If you get out in the third stage, that is which is after the Cybersecurity Essentials course, the next step for you is to just, if you did not make the first 4,000 and you are out of time, don't worry, you still have the time to finish that course and get certified on that specific topic. So cybersecurity essentials, that's where the certification will be. Please note, this is not a professional certification. It's just a course, a learning course structured and designed by CyberSafe Foundation. All right, I think that's basically it. There will be a lot of questions, like I said earlier, and if you have questions, you can start to put them in the comment section. Now, yesterday, a couple of people had taken initiative based on prompts on our social media channels to ask their questions ahead of time. If you are not one of those people, well, now is your time to ask. But we'll first be starting with some frequently asked questions, and then we'll be walking into questions around questions that were asked yesterday via social media. Please let me say this one more time. If you do not follow us on social media and you want to be part of the CyberGirls Fellowship, you are wrong. You are on the wrong side of things. Follow us across social media, all your social media platforms. Turn on your post notifications so you do not miss any information whatsoever. So I wouldn't be taking this section alone, the sections of questions and answers alone. I will be taking this with my colleagues, Divine and Selassie. So I'm just going to read the questions and we'll just get started on it. All right, Divine and Selassie, you'll be joining me. So the first question will be: is the training physical or virtual? That's the first question. I think I'm going to just answer this one because it's a no-brainer. The training is virtual, 100% virtual. All right. And for the purpose of this training, people are going to be joining from all across Africa. Please know that there'll be maybe a few physical events in your locality to help you network with people and all of those. But for the education purposes, like for training purposes only, everything is virtual. But you can get to meet up with your cyber sisters, what activities happened. I think my colleague Divine told us about the Linux party. That was fun, by the way. If you missed it, there's a video on YouTube. We were vibing, we were dancing. It was fun. And then we had to capture the flag event as well. That was so we have these activities that could be physical over the course of the training, but
Mm-hmm.
the training itself proper happens virtually. All
Okay.
right.
DTM, just to add to that, it's a like DTM has rightly said, it's a hybrid training. So we have a pre-recording that you can watch on our learning management system, and then we also have live sessions. So it's a mixture of pre-recorded videos that you'll be watching to learn, and then you also have live sessions, and this will be communicated as time goes by.
All right. So the next question: do I need? Oh, there's a typo. But do I need to learn to code? Divide. I think this question is going to specifically for you. Do they need to learn to code?
Not necessarily, no, but it depends on the career path you join eventually. You probably would have to learn something like Python, but anything you need, we will have it provided. But you don't necessarily need to learn to code.
Okay, so we wouldn't be requiring coding knowledge from selection
No.
process. These are skills that you pick up over time. So you don't need to learn to code. It's not compulsory. So please, if coding was the reason you were considering not taking up the opportunity, please, there are other learning paths that will not expressly require coding. So next part will be: can I apply if I'm almost 18? I think I'm going to take this particular question. If you are 17 right now, but will be 18 on the 24th of March, right? You'll be 18 on the 24th of March, 2023, then you can apply. Same works with the last age. If you are 28 now, but you know that by March 24th, 2023, you'll be 29. Sorry, we may not won't be opening our doors to you. So um the cost is 28, 18, 28 on that day. So let that guide you. Let that just be the thing that guides you. If you're confused whether your age falls in the bracket or not. Okay, I think the next question is for you, Selassie. Do I need to own a computer to apply?
Yes, you do need a computer to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
All
because
right.
most of
So
our
we
learnings and our training sessions will be online and will be heavily dependent on having a laptop. So yes, you do need it.
All right. So based on support from fund donors and other funding partners, we most likely will be able to provide to people who get in the program a computer. Most likely. Well, like I said, it's heavily dependent on sponsorship and the kind heart of donors. But it's important that you have your own computer. I think I specifically like that because you can be practicing before you get there. So please, if you need to borrow a brother's computer that you have for the next 7 months, an uncle, someone, if you want to start saving up, to get a computer by March, now is even a good time. It's November. That gives you that bandwidth. All right. So, what level of complexity is the training? Divine, I think you take this. What level of complexity is the training?
Well, it's quite intense, but I'd say that it's basically from beginners to intermediate. So you're not alone. I can say that again. You're not alone. You don't have to know it all. You're here to learn, and that's what we're going to provide. Hands-on learning from start to finish, just like Selassie had rightly mentioned, from zero to hero, but it will be quite intensive. So you need to be fully committed and dedicated to the program.
All right. So zero to hero, novice to professional. We'll be taking the journey with you. So before you choose your career path, I think Divine rightly mentioned that earlier. You'll be given some training that gives you the propelling knowledge to get to that place where you need. So before you choose a path, you're going to have some basic knowledge. All right. So for the next question says, can university students apply too? And what about when they are writing exams in school?
Yes.
All right. Okay,
We
Divine, do you want to answer that
Yes.
question? Or should I
It's
ask?
open. It's open to all. It's open to undergraduates. It's open to graduates. So yes, you can apply. So like we had rightly said, you have a peer learning group, and I don't know if my colleague had mentioned that, but you're going to be having a success advisor. So whatever you need, that person is your contact person. So we understand that you're in school, but you need to communicate. So that's a key thing for CyberGirls Fellows. You have to communicate. You're not alone, yes, but we don't know what is happening with you. We don't know if you're in school. We don't know if you're sick. So if you're an undergraduate and you have exams probably around clashing with the time you're having your assessments, just communicate this through the right channel, and we'll take note of that and probably make provision for you. So yes, you can apply as an undergraduate.
All right, Divine, I'm going to add something to that. And
To
the
add
thing
something to
is,
that, if you're in school and okay,
no, don't worry. Go on, Selassie. I think there's a lag, so you can go on.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, if you're in school and you're going to join the program, it's intense. You have to set your priorities. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you're in school and you have exams, you may have to take the exams in terms of like the training, but you may have to double back and come and fulfill whatever task that has been assigned to you when you're done with your exams.
All right. So it's important. I think the general knowledge to go by is that it's important that we know, yes, that you're in school. You seek
Mm-hmm.
help when you need help. Also,
Exactly.
communication is key. And the last most important thing, if you know that your education will not let you meet the criteria, which is 4 hours daily, if you know that you can't dedicate that to the learning itself, then I don't think you should apply. We are going to make exceptions for tests, quizzes. We could help you, make the process better for you. Oh, I'm writing an exam is clashing with this. We could help with that when properly communicated. But the learning itself, we wouldn't make excuses that we weren't able to finish a certain content material because of school. It's
Yeah.
important that you plan yourself. It's a sacrifice. People have made sacrifices. It's not going to be comfortable, but you must meet that criteria of attending your classes and finishing all of the course contents you need to digest. All right, before we go on to answer the other questions in the comment section, I'm just going to go through the questions that were asked on social media. It's first come, first serve. So you're all in the comment section. Keep asking, but take the ones from social media as well. Can a digital beneficiary also be a cyber girl beneficiary? The automatic answer is
Yes.
yes. But there's a catch. You cannot be both at the same time. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's to answer the next question. Someone was like, "Oh, can I be both?" You can't be both at the same time. You know, you answer your name where necessary, and that's about it. You can't be both at the same time. All right. So the next question is, how explanatory are the classes? Divine, I think you should take this question. How explanatory are the classes?
Quite like it's the terms are going to actually be broken down to simpler to basic terms, basic words that you understand. So yeah, it's as much as it's complex and intensive, it's basically for beginners. So yes, it's going to be very, very explanatory for you to understand. And again, you can always ask questions. So wherever you have issues, probably a trainer just said something and you don't understand, ask questions. You have people that are readily available to attend to you.
All right. So I think that says all about it. Celeste, is there anything you want to add to that?
No,
No. All right. Okay. So when is it starting? I'd like to enroll. That's what someone asked. The question is, the answer to that question is, it's starting on the 14th of November. 14th of November is Monday. So Monday we start accepting applications, and that goes on for 3 weeks. All right. Divine, you can put up the next question, the one about the extending the age. Yes, so someone's asking, can the age limits be extended? Belinda, I'm sorry. Sadly, we can't extend it. But we're hoping for a time when, we can open our doors to even more people who don't fit within this range in other programs, hopefully. But those age ranges can't change. The criteria for application, I think I had taken this earlier, but someone wants to know the criteria. You must be African, resident in Africa, 18 to 28, proficient in English, passionate about starting a career in cybersecurity, can withstand 7 months of intensive training, and most importantly, must have completed secondary education. So for Fola is asking, please, I was part of the last set, but I couldn't finish it. So I want to ask if I can reapply again, please. Selassie, would you want to answer that?
Um, so reapplying will be based on reasons why you had to drop out. If it was sent ASAP, like you just walked out without informing anybody why, I think they will prioritize new applicants over you. So your reasons, were you able to communicate with us? Did you tell us, or you just opted and left without like any reasonable excuse? So it'll be based on your reasons and your circumstances in which you couldn't complete. If it wasn't anything substantial, it wasn't anything serious, it was just you getting up and opting out of the program, the new applicants will be given priority over someone in your case.
All right. So just to buttress that point, if you did inform us and it was for a valid reason and you dropped out of the program, you could be considered. Remember, I said a board is meeting to discuss people who would get into the program. Your issue will be considered. However, you will not be treated as top priority because you were given the opportunity and you walked out prior. But yes, you can still go on to apply. Someone wants to know how long the program lasts. Please, it's a 1 year fellowship, but the training is for 7 months. You can go on to now having paid, a possible paid employment. So that could happen. The 4 hours, what time of the day would it be, please? Divine, would you like to answer that? The 4 hours of training, what time does that happen? Divine, can you hear me? All right, I think we lost Divine. So, a part of the training this period will be, like Divine rightly said, hybrid. So there'll be a couple of pre-recorded content and there'll be live sessions. But live sessions will frequently take place between 10 and 2 o'clock. But it will be communicated expressly prior to then. You have schedules for everything. You know when you're having your live sessions before it happens. So we don't just spring up stuff on you. You would be able to plan around it. But it's within the time of the fellowship, which is 10 to 2 o'clock.
Nigerian time, West African time. That's the time zone.
I forgot to include that.
Yes.
Please,
We have lots of people joining from different parts of Africa, so it's West African time zone. That's what we're using.
Yes, thank you so much, Levi, for that. All right, are there any more questions? As a university student, I have school timetable, might not be able to meet a fixed schedule for the course. Can we do our lessons at any time during the day? All right, Divine, do you want to take that or should I take that?
Okay, so like we earlier said, you have pre-recorded videos that you can watch, but we also have live sessions. So there are times where it's important for you to join live sessions, probably when you're preparing for your open day and you need to meet with your team. And we also have coaching sessions and you need to be in attendance. So like we said, all of these need to be communicated. And if you know that your school work will not permit you, it won't allow you to be fully committed and dedicated to the program, then unfortunately the program is not for you because it is quite intensive. So we understand that you're in school, but you also need to prioritize both. So you need to see how you can be able to manage your time and merge the two of them together.
All right, just to add to that, I understand that the pre-recorded sessions you can watch them at any time. Just make sure you're doing your 4 hours and you're reading and studying per the time. So periodically we do checks to make sure who is still meeting up with the proposed timeline for your course to be taken. So some courses will be slated for 3 weeks, a month. As long as you're meeting that pace, you're working at the agreed pace, that's good. Live sessions are basically for your benefit, if I'm being honest. We get to ask questions, things that you've read or watching a video and don't understand, you get to ask questions practically and get those questions answered. However, if you miss a live session, a recording will be given to you. You have a chance to watch a recording. That is also there, but just also know that it's to your disadvantage, because that basically means that you can't ask the questions you want to ask. You honestly can't ask, and it's only based on permission. So if you are not permitted to, you're not, we would not permit, except it's for an express reason, like, and it's communicated to your success advisor. So yes, recordings will be made available for live sessions, but to be honest, it's to your detriment missing it frequently over time. It's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All right, I'm currently in Nairobi and I do not intend on relocating next year. I do. Oh, and I do intend. I'm sorry. I do intend on relocating next year. I do not have the exact date yet due to a number of factors. Would that disqualify me from the application? You are in Nairobi. That's fine. That's perfect. The country you're relocating to is that country in Africa. If that country is outside of Africa, that will disqualify you. I'm sorry, but if that country is within Africa, it's fine. If you want to move from Rwanda to Kenya or Kenya to Uganda the next day, that is fine. But you just need to know. We just need to know what country is in. So during the program, if you have to move, that may be a bit of a friction. All right. So can I see that question again? From Melissa, yes, Melissa already. So Melissa, please note, if that country is within Africa, you can proceed to apply. All right. If I cannot attend live sessions, will I have access to recorded content later in the day? Yes, you would have access. Immediately the session ends, you have access to watch and catch up. Please, this is something you should also note. I think I mentioned it. We do a lot of community. So there's peer learning is at the heart of CyberGirls. I think that's the best way to say peer learning is at the heart. So after a live session, if you missed it, it would be a very nice time to go and catch up with your cyber sisters in your peer learning group. You know, I missed this, or people in your, if you start a specified career learning path, that would be a nice time to catch up with them. I missed this, I didn't understand this, and then you can use the opportunity to learn more. So yes, you have a lot of support. Community is there for you. I'll be 18 next year, October. It's okay to see if I still apply. Oh my God, Salem, I'm so sorry. Thankfully, there'll be CyberGirls 4.0. Thankfully, and you would qualify for that. So sorry, you have to sit out this year. All right, next question. Oh, Melissa says it is not in Africa. Um, So sorry, Melissa. I don't think applying will be the best place for you. However, you can write us formally to maybe provide more details because this is social media. This is public. I know that you're avoiding mentioning the details. So, but you can write us later on CG Fellowship at cyberfoundation.org to make that inquiry more detailed in a more detailed format. Okay, please, the classes and sessions, do they include weekends or is it just weekdays? I think, Divine, this is for you.
Weekdays, Monday to Friday. Weekdays.
All right, we are trying to give you back your weekends. So does this mean nothing happens during the weekends? Nothing official happens during the weekends. However, the Cyber Girls community is very vibrant. During that period, a lot of peer learning groups are having meetings and brainstorming, and some of them organize prep classes for themselves. And they start. Some people take the weekends up to pick up personal projects and maybe writing projects. A lot of activities do go on during the weekend, but they are not official. So you wouldn't be receiving a message to come to a class. You most likely would not be receiving that message. However, other informal activities happen. So there are times when people organize themselves. Maybe they are struggling with a particular course, and they organize themselves and decide to take a session together. That is, based on their discretion, and you can do that. All right, so weekdays only. Do we have any more questions? Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. All right. I think that's about it. Okay, so in for the application process, the dates are already known. And I'm saying this to say that you will be required to act and act fast throughout the application process. Listen again, you'll be required to act and act fast all through the application process. So, like I earlier mentioned, the application timeline, I'm just going to run through that again for people who may have missed it or came midway through. The first stage of application is registration. The date for that is 14th November to 4th of December. So right now we're doing the application timeline. So feedback will be received on the 10th of December. So if you apply, you most likely will get, something telling you, oh, we received your application, and all of those things. Wait for us to give your feedback back, to give your feedback rather. And then on the 10th of December, you will know your status. Are you in or are you out? When I say in or out, I'm talking about stages now. So you move to the second stage where you write the written test on the 13th of December. Now, all of all the tests must be taken on that date. Please note, once you open the link, tests are started, cannot be paused, and can only be stopped. So ensure you're in a good place, your internet is working, you sign in, take your test, and you're done. Right? Feedback for that will be received on the 17th of December. So are you in? Did you make the 75% cutoff or did you not? Please avoid taking the test multiple times. If you run into any challenges whatsoever, our advice is that you send an email straight up, CG Fellowship at cybersafefoundation.org. I'd keep repeating this over the course of the training, but that's where to reach out to us if you have any issues while taking the test. But just know that you can't take the test more than once. All right. So the third stage, Cyber Essentials course, gets started on the 19th of December. So on the 19th of December 2022, you'd start the course. Everybody can get started on that course at the same time. So sign when you get the prompts, the email prompts, you sign in, you start your course. If you want to read everything the same day, although I don't see the possibility of that, it's up to you. But remember, it's fastest fingers first. Finish the course, take the quiz, and score 75%. Right? If you have any issues during this period, because this course will start on the 19th of December and extend to 8th of January. That's the duration you have to finish the course in, and the stage ends there. So if on the 8th of January you're not even done with the course, don't worry. Deep within your heart, just know you're not one of the 4,000. Don't bother. All right? Just know. But this is something I want to tell you, that if that course gets exhausted on the 8th of January, you'd have lost a very important opportunity. It wouldn't take you up to 3 weeks to complete that course content. So I want to encourage you, especially this period, yes, just sacrifice. Sacrifice. It's a lot of sacrifice. We're preparing for life for sacrifice, actually. Take the course, write your quiz and get on with it. Your feedback for that will be available on the 12th of January. If these dates were to shift in any way, we do not see that happening. But if we were, we would communicate it expressly to you if any of the dates were to take. So how to know? You can check on your online application portal. So by signing in, check your dashboard, right? Or you would receive you can check your email, because we actually will email you, so you can keep you up to date on that. And the last stage is the interviews. I'm repeating this to make sure everyone gets everything. It will start on the 17th of January. It's a blind interview, and then it will last for 6 weeks. Does this mean you have to be available for 6 weeks? No. Right? No. And you would have to choose 10 minutes. Sorry, 15 minutes rather. 15 minutes, but the interview takes place for 10 minutes. 15 minutes within the day when you present yourself for interview. So you use your hand to kill yourself. I like to say it that way. You choose the time that best suits you based on available times. Please remember, this is another fastest fingers first. If people pick out the available the slots, and you are left with whatever you're left with, you're going to have to choose it. So once you get your email, act fast. The entire process requires that you act fast. So you choose your time, your preferred time for your interview, and on that said day, you would appear for your interview, following the prompts in the email received for your blind interviews. If you are having network issues, anything whatsoever, I think you should be very intentional about preventing it. However, whatever struggles you may have on the set day, please communicate it, and then we would consider. Like I said, you're not assured of an interview. I'm not assuring you of one, but if there's a problem, communicate. I think it's one thing that you would learn to is very important in the CyberGirls Fellowship, communicating. Don't suffer, don't die in silence. Talk to us. We will talk back to you. When you do that, the interviews end on the 24th of February, and successful applicants will be notified 15th of March. Why this long? That's a very important question. Is this long because, like I said, we're not handpicking people. We are going by the books, a point-based system that was observed during your interview. So when you answer a question, they give you points, they mark it, they mark it, they mark it, they compile everything, and then they list it. And this board goes through the painful process of doing a background check. So if you fail the stage after like you aced your interview, you know deep within your heart you aced your interview. Some of the things that could happen that you wouldn't make you prevent you from getting the fellowship includes that your background check didn't didn't cut it. You didn't make the pass. Something was looking weird there. Please, this is another thing to note. We are not looking for cybersecurity professionals to just give the name cyber girls. We are interested in novices. Now, if you've made some progress and learning on your own, that doesn't mean we're going to kick you out the doors. But we don't want certified cybersecurity professionals. All right? We are here to help you get certification ready. You're not going to find our content what paying attention to because you've already passed the stage. So from novice to professional. So if you have started the process of learning, that's good and fine. But certifications, like industry certifications, that calls for concern. Now, if you're not sure if the certification you have taken already qualifies or disqualifies you from that, just don't worry. It's in your application guide. What certifications we will not be letting into the what stages, what from what stage does it, are you past it, are you past the opportunity? Yes, just know some things that are bigger than. I understand that you're curious to learn, you want to be part of the fellowship, it's glamorous, it's very nice, but there's some things that are bigger than. So just understand and appreciate, and understand that you have moved on to a more advanced stage of life and there are more opportunities for you. um for the application, for the onboarding and orientation, that will be happening from the 15th of March to 24th. You'll be contacted by your success advisor. Process will be made available. You will have to take certain actions, and then you attend your orientation ceremony. Don't worry, by the time you get into this stage, you have someone detailing and explaining to you what processes you would need to follow. All right, so that's been an interesting session. If you would like to contact the CyberGirls admissions team, because it's not just Divine, it's not just DTM, it's not just Selassie. There's a legion. There are a lot of people working with us. If you would like to contact us, the email to use is cjfellowship@cybersafefoundation.org. Write us, let us know, and we can walk through that process with you. If there are questions we didn't cover, you start and you talked about saying like, oh, can this happen? Proceed to asking. You can ask on social media through a DM or preferably email us. We love you emailing us and we will answer your questions. All right, Divine, before we leave, I want you to tell us about success advisors. I think that is a catch 22. It's something that's very distinctive about this training. So can you tell us a bit about the success advisor role and how that comes to play in the CyberGirls Fellowship?
Okay, thank you, DTM. So basically, your success advisor is your contact person. So right from the start of I am a cyber girl. After your interview where you have been selected, this is the person that is going to reach out to you, and every communication goes through your success advisor. They're basically going to be there to guide you. They're going to be checking up on you. Remember, we said you're not alone. As much as you have a peer learning group, you have cyber sisters, but it could take a while before you open up and start, interacting with these other ladies across the country. So your success advisor is basically your go-to person for everything. If you need to find out detailed information, you reach out to your success advisor. Anything you need, any communication whatsoever, that is the person you reach out to. So it's very important that you're in close communication with this person. You ensure that no matter whatever it is you're going through. Probably you can't attend classes, just like the questions some persons are asking, or I probably would have an exam or something. This is the person you're communicating to, not your trainer, not CG fellowship, but your success advisor, basically.
Thank you so much, Divine. All right, I know a lot of people are warming up to apply, and they want some advice on how they can stand out, some tips, and all of that. For me, I think the one and true correct tip from my end would be your true authentic self. It is important that you are not pitching who you are not. And we can actually see and hear these things in the way you say it. These people are trying to actually pick it out. Talk about it. And I think another application tip I'll tell you is, oh, thank you, Asmao. All right. I think another tip I'll tell you is, if you are passionate, show us how. I think people have done really very fun things during the application process that catches my interest. I think someone quite recently was counting down to the application starting, and I was like, okay, you go, girl. You're as eager as I am. We actually want to see how eager you are. We want you to engage with us. So I think that's another tip I would give you. The last one will be relating to the tests. There's the temptation to rush to the test. A timeline has been given. Rush straight in, take that test. But I think resist the urge and wait, take some time, calm, make sure the environment is very quiet. You don't want distractions. Ensure your internet is working. You don't want that to fail. And then you sit down and then you take the quiz. If you have taken the course, there's no way you won't pass the quiz. Please note, you're not going to be bringing some rocket science, some strange thing to ask. We're asking what is in the course content. So it's important that you go into the course, go through the course content and take your test well. Divine, is there any tip you want to give them more an advice for the application process?
Okay, so just like you had rightly said, just be yourself, be authentic. You don't need to fake it. We know that you're coming, like we said, you don't have to know it all. You're basically coming here to learn. So you don't have to try to prove to be who you're not. And ensure that you have a right mindset to this program. Know that you're coming in and you want to finish strong. And I'd say do not be distracted, because whilst you're in the program, you could see that maybe you started with five ladies in the peer learning group, and after some time some persons are withdrawing. Don't get discouraged. You know your goal, you know your focus. So ensure that you have it, you're determined, you know what you're here for, and try to achieve your goal, basically.
All right, thank you, Divine, for that. I think you just reminded me of a very unique person from the very first cohort. I think like to tell this story a lot. So when she got into the program, her name is Olufela Osideko. She most likely be embarrassed by telling this story because she's a remote person, but I'm going to tell the story nonetheless. When Fela got into the program, she knew deep within her heart what she wanted to achieve. It was not
Mhm.
about the title. It was not
Exactly.
about being among the happening people in cyber girls. She had a target to meet for herself, and she wrote it very clearly what her visions were, what her goals were. And it's important to write your vision down because now you can grow. You know what you're running by. That's the goal. You can see the goal. And she did that. And it is very important that I must note that she was the best graduating student in
World
her
best.
cohort. And she currently works a job she got because of how unique she was during the fellowship. And just yesterday, this is interesting news, she won a bounty
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
$900 because she secretly took a project on her own to pick out a vulnerability in someone else's system and discreetly advised the person how to proceed. And the reward, it was free. She was not supposed to get it, just something just for fun, so for free, but she got rewarded because it was so good. See, the
Mhm.
people we bring out in this fellowship, they are one is one, unique, special, and people who come in with the intent to learn actually display this over time. So it's not about finishing the fellowship and getting an A. It's about the knowledge received and the mindset that we groom you to have. The people who come out of the fellowship actually act with this mindset. So that's something to note. Write the vision, know what you want clearly for yourself, and you most definitely will get it like Fela God has. All right, Ceci, Selassie, do you have any advice for us? Anything whatsoever?
Um, so my advice would be just apply. Don't be intimidated. And when you do get into the fellowship, you always have someone that it's maybe a bit more outgoing or maybe a bit more knowledgeable than you. But don't get intimidated. You're all there to learn. Just do your portion. Reach out to the essays, your success advisors, your trainers, and you should be fine. It's a journey. I'll say it's a journey, so you shouldn't be discouraged. There'll be ups, there'll be downs. Please just go along with us. Trust us. We're here to help you. So that'll be my advice to anyone that's willing to join this fellowship.
And lastly, I would say that ensure that you make use of your mentor. That's why we're actually pairing you up with someone who is experienced in the industry. So it's one thing to learn and you're learning alone, because a lot of us, we can do self learning, self-paced learning, take a training on Coursera or Udemy or wherever. But you're coming here to learn, but you're not alone. Fine, you have a community, but you have someone who is readily available to handhold you. So when you join the program, we're going to tell you more about the mentorship session and how often you'll be meeting this women who will, of course, serve as your mentor. So basically, ensure that you make use of your mentor. A lot of fellows, they have fantastic things to say about their mentors, how the mentors help them, how the mentors advise them. Sometimes, you could be really overwhelmed. It can be very overwhelming, to be very honest, but you have someone you can talk to. You have someone that, can push you and, advise you to do better. So ensure that when you get into the program, you closely communicate to your mentor.
All right. Thank you. There was a question, there was an advice I was going to give, and then I think this question kind of triggers it, encompasses that well. So I'll just give the advice and answer the question as well. If you do not get into the fellowship, trust me, your world hasn't ended. And your journey doesn't end there either. Dust off. Put yourself together. If you're within the age range, give it a go again the next year. If you are past it, you don't have to give up on your dreams because you didn't make the cut in the fellowship. Depending on what stage you are, we're offering support on how to continue to grow in your career afterwards. So if you don't get into this on the first stage, you don't get into it during the first stage, we're offering you a starter certification course. Cybersecurity essentials. Let's get you started on your career. Second stage, same thing. Let's get you started on your career still, because we want to still help you grow. If you don't make it in the third stage, the fourth stage rather, we will still have a community for you. We love to help. We love to grow. And shout out to the cyber learners community. I think last cohort we had some of the most vibrant people in that community. That community is, almost, I think, pretty much as strong as the CyberGirls community. There's constant learning in that community. You have an opportunity to meet the amazing minds still across the world. The only classes you don't get to have a success advisor, we don't get to monitor your training, and you don't get to become a certified cyber girl. So you can't be a part of our alumni community as well. So it's not the end of the world. Learning will still happen. You will still make progress. So yes, if you don't get into the fellowship 3.0, next year is always there. Give it a shot. Go for it. And I think by then you'll be more experienced and more confident. You know what you are, you know what you want. And I think another thing you want to do for yourself while you're waiting to apply again the next cohort, grow yourself. It is important that you grow yourself. It could be one of the reasons you didn't get in the first place. So grow yourself, get some knowledge. Coursera, I think, free courses lying here and there. Follow people, read articles, and you will get in definitely. What are your final words, Divine, before we say goodbye to everyone? I think we've had a very good session. We've had quite a long session. I think we surpassed what we wanted. If you really enjoyed the session, while Divine is speaking, you can just let us know in the comment section. But Divine, do you have any parting words to the people who attended this session today?
Well, lastly, I'll just say give it your best shots, most especially the interview stage. I mean, the test could be easy, but the interview, give it your best shots. Be authentic, be yourself, be relaxed, practice. Advise that you practice before your interview. Of course, you're going to be the one to have to choose your interview time, your preferred interview time. So ensure that you're relaxed, you're in a very quiet environment. You probably, just practice a little bit. Don't be tense. The questions are not hard. They're very easy questions. We just want to know you. So just be yourself, give it your best shot, and we can't wait to have you in our community, part of CyberGirls. We really look forward to having you come March 2023.
All right, thank you so much, Divine. And just in case you missed the beginning of the session, she's the program's manager for CyberGirls Africa. So she's a big madam. Thank you, Divine. All right, Selassie, any parting words for us? Any advice, anything?
All the best, and then see you soon. Because I know I'll see you soon.
All right, that's understandable. It has been an insightful session. I think there's pretty much no area we haven't covered during the session. My advice will be just re-echoing something that Selassie said earlier, which is to not be intimidated. There's a lot has been said, and it feels like, oh my God, this is quite a journey to start with. I fill the application form, I do this, I do that. Don't let that intimidate you. It is all for the best, and it will be an enjoyable process. I do not, I cannot promise you that it will be without hiccups, but it will be all to get that target, becoming a cyber girl. So don't let that intimidate you. You first are a cyber girl in your heart before you are actually a cyber girl. So keep up the cyber girl's mindset, and you will get to be resilient, have the learner's mindset, be passionate, talk about your dreams, be very vocal about it, and you would get it. So I think that'll be all from my end. Thank you so much, everyone. It was an interesting session talking to you. We hope to have another session some other time in the future again. But it was interesting session. Remember, if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to clarify, I think we still have a pending question around relocation and the possibility of that. You can email us. If you have any hiccups during the application process, don't forget, email us. Divine, if you don't mind, can you put up that email address again so everyone can see? CG Fellowship at cybersafefoundation.org. So please do not email connect. Do not send your questions to social media. Please, CG Fellowship is the place for you. And before you ask any question, please go to the website first. The portal has a lot of things answered already. We have an FAQs there. The application guide is also there. Lots of things we've said here on the application guide as well. Go there. Try to solve the problem yourself before escalating it. All right. So we'll be dealing with a lot of applications and responses and questions during this time. So if you ask a question, please be patient. We will take some time to get to you, but we would most definitely get to you. All right. I think that will be all for now. Thank you so much, everyone. And see you. See all of. I look forward to receiving all your applications. So bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, okay. Bye. I'm seeing some of the comments and they're warming my heart. Thank you so much. I actually miss having sessions with you, Michael. And I see some other people from the ECSL program are here as well. All right. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.